Zorro, aka the Fox, defender of the downtrodden, champion of the oppressed, fashion plate. The legend of Zorro goes back a very long way. He's a sort of a Mexican Robin Hood, a bandit who fights for the people against cruel dictators and greedy landowners. He's been adapted many times. Naturally, such a concept is also ripe for parody. And that's what we're looking at today. Gentlefolk, Spanish-American gentlefolk, and swashbuckling adventurers, Zorro the Gay Blade. Our story begins in the 1840s in Madrid, Spain, where Don Diego de la Vega is doing his usual thing, sleeping with a married woman. Her husband shows up, and given that Don Diego is an excellent swordsman, he's brought a little hope. He finds his 5 brothers.
Elena, do you really think this is the time? Well, bring it to me. Diego, Mike, son, oh, Pablo wishes me to return. I can travel with you no longer. Family duty calls.
He returns to his hometown of Los Angeles, California, where he sees that things have changed a bit in the 20 years he's been away.
Don Diego, my old friend. Steven, my boyhood amigo.
It is Capitan Esteban.
Capitan, I congratulate you.
Esteban? What the hell is going on here?
You remember Don Diego?
Diego! Ah! Oh! Diego!
You of course remember Florinda, for whom we competed as boys.
Oh, of course he does.
I cannot believe it. Oh, the little bud was promising. The full flower is a rare and wondrous dozen.
Oh!
This full flower is now my wife.
Ah. So our long rivalry for her hands is over, huh? Again, I congratulate you.
No, this time I congratulate you.
Esteban is only acting alcalde because the previous incumbent, Don Diego's father, had recently been killed when he'd been thrown from his horse after the animal was frightened by a turtle. And alcalde is a sort of a judge administrator, answerable only to the local landowning dons. Though it seems that our rather flamboyant friend with no indoor voice has been taking his duties a little further than his mandate really requires.
That man was 3 pesos short in paying his taxes. I can assure you that he will never be short again. Are there any nominations?
I nominate Capitan Esteban.
Oh, no. I second the nomination.
Not for me. I move the nomination.
Me,
Close
as
it.
alcalde,
I second the motion.
moved and seconded. The nominations are now closed.
Viva Alcalde Esteban!
With a spontaneous outpouring of support for his completely surprising ascension to official role of alcalde, Esteban is not too pleased to be interrupted by a woman who's just arrived.
Isn't this the village plaza where, according to law, everyone is allowed to speak his or her mind?
You're right, señorita. The woman is allowed to speak, but the rest anyone will listen.
It is night! The heard enough idiots speak today.
Let your voices be heard. Oppose the greedy bloodsuckers.
Thank you. I'm Charlotte Taylor Wilson. I'm with the People's Independence Committee.
Don Diego Vega. I'm with the greedy bloodsuckers.
You may joke about it, Mr. Vega, but a new wind is blowing across this land. It is the wind of independence, and it carries aloft the bird of freedom, which will drop the egg of democracy on your head.
Despite her penchant for rather unusual mixed metaphors, Don Diego is quite taken by her fire and her passion and is entranced. But that evening he receives a most unusual bequest from his father.
My dear son, I do not call you by name because I do not know which of you two brothers will be the one to read this. But whoever does inherits the greatest gifts I possess. This sword with which to fight injustice. This mask with which to deceive tyranny. And this hat which needs redocking. Wear them with honor. For in time of need, it is the destiny of the Vega men to become Zorro.
Don Diego figures this will be the perfect costume to wear to the masked ball, which is being set up to celebrate the ascension of Esteban to official alcalde. But on the way, he encounters a old peasant man and his granddaughter who've been robbed. And he decides that, as Zorro, he's going to chase down the thief.
I am prolonging the duel, my friend, because I can see that you need to practice. Oh, mercy, senor. I beg your mercy from your flashing blade and... Oh, my God! And from your hideous dog! It is the second time today I've heard the cry for mercy. The first was from an old man and his little granddaughter. I meant them no harm, senor. Please spare me. Yes. Yes, I will spare you. But only so you can spread the word to all the robbers and the lawbreakers. To the new bandit rise the land. A bandit for the oppressed and the trodden down. A bandit known only as... That not strike terror in your heart? No, senor. But I'm new to the region. You do not recognize that famous sign. The mark of El Zorro? I love it.
Learning that this bandit is in fact one of Esteban's official tax collectors, he realizes he's going to have to do more than just deal with random thieves. So he crashes the party as Zorro, and when said tax collector points him out, Esteban decides to take matters into his own hands.
There, Catherine. I think that I have arrived just in the nick of time.
Esteban, you're going to ruin my party.
Do you agree, sir, that I have a point?
Indeed, it must be difficult to find a hat that fits it properly.
Senor Zero. Is your blade as sharp as your tongue?
Is yours as dull as your wit? Do you mind holding this, please?
Not at all.
Do you mind holding this, please? Muchas gracias. Ah,
But who are you?
I fear I must take my leave.
You've injured his foot, Your Excellency. Now we will be easy to find.
Yeah, Don Diego may be an excellent swordsman and rather flashing in his actions, but he's also a bit headstrong, and he's managed to break his foot. His attempts to deal with the situation are complicated. When Florinda shows up to ask why he wasn't at her party, and to attempt to seduce him, since her marriage to Esteban is not exactly a paradise.
My life is miserable. I have nothing. Nothing.
Nonsense, you have everything. You're married to the alcalde, the prince of the peoples.
Don't be ridiculous. I'm married to Esteban, king of the beasts. A beast! Do you realize that we only make love 12 times a year?
Once a month is not too bad.
I mean 12 times in one night. And then for the rest of the year, nothing.
Other one night. Does he eat anything special? Oysters, raw eggs.
Garlic, a lot of garlic.
Being a bit suspicious of the mysterious man who showed up and wrecks the party, Esteban considers that Don Diego is remarkably similar in build. So he decides to ask him to do a little favor.
This alcalde business has gone to your head. Walk with you.
Anda!
I'm walking.
Anda! Walk!
I'm walking.
Más rápido!
Rápido!
Jumping! Yes! Now running in place! Now walking and running and jumping in place! Now walking and running and jumping in place! Now walking and jumping and running in place! My apologies, my friend.
Determined to show the people that he is not to be trifled with, and probably dealing with a few personal issues at the same time, Esteban institutes a reign of terror, which Don Diego is unable to do anything about since he can't walk. But our mysterious arrival might provide a solution.
I know you. Nervy? Think me. We were once roommates. Ramon, my brother's back. I can't believe it. Ramon. Yes, I rather like that roommate. Yes. After 20 years, I can't believe it. Ramon. Well, I was Ramon 20 years ago when Father decided it wasn't quite masculine enough, so he shipped me off to sea in that British frigate. They say the Navy makes men. Well, I'm living proof they made me. Paco, take the horse of my brother, pronto. You says you was Ramon. You know Ramon Vega no more? No, I've disinherited that Latin tradition. I'm Bunny Wigglesworth now. I can't believe it, my brother. You're so different. Yes, well, you're still the same, aren't you? Still tanned, bland, and romantic, eh? No, I was about to say Randy. How'd you hit your foot then? Falling off a tapping, mate? I think I know what the problem is. There is something wrong with his bowels. My what? Your bowels. The way you say your R and your E and your Jews, I don't think you realize it, but you have a very bad accent. And I do not think that people will believe that he is really Zorro. What if I talk very slow and make my voice sound like this? Now would the people believe me?
Now, it turns out that Bunny never learned how to fence, but he does have a certain amount of skill with a whip. And as for the drab, black Zorro outfit, he has a solution for that, too.
Next. You are next, senor.
Not you again.
Now is the time for you to pay your taxes. Everything. All of it.
manages to make a bit of an impression on the crusading Charlotte Taylor Wilson.
I know it must be very boring for you to hear all the time how wonderful you are. But I must tell you that I admire you too. Your style, your daring, and you seem so much freer than most men. So comfortable with yourself. You can trust me.
Indeed. Can you trust me? The man who wears a mask.
Even as El Zorro's actions cause chaos amongst the landowners, and Esteban's position begins to crumble, the vain and selfish Florinda has other motivations, which causes Esteban to come up with a plan.
Can we have a matched ball? I want a new matched ball for my pretty new necklace.
What are you loco? Ah! The peons are starving! The caballeros are yelling for my blood!
Yeah.
If I have a match ball to show off your necklace, to show... Zorro could not possibly resist trying to steal it.
Exactly.
Brilliant
Exactly.
way to catch a flaming panther. He's not just going to walk in here and say, "Here I am." Here I am. Santa Maria! What are you waiting for? Here he is. Arrest him, Pronto!
What's happening here?
Tell you something. I am almost disappointed. I had anticipated a greater game of cat and mouse. Venga! Ahora, Pronto! Last to expose you, you pilfering. Consi! Don Diego.
Oh, but he can't be Zorro. Diego, tell him you're not Zorro.
Domicile, I'm wearing this costume at your request.
What do you mean, my request? I do not understand.
Well, yesterday in my house, a servant came and said that it would be your pleasure that I come to your party dressed as Zorro. Of course, I thought it was in slightly bad taste, but after all, you are the alcalde.
Diego, I made no such request.
Then who?
Here I am. Yeah.
So is Bunny one of these men dressed as Zorro? Not exactly.
How you enjoying your party?
I'm having a miserable time. With these buffoons surrounding me at all times, nobody can get close enough to me to see my new necklace. Isn't it beautiful?
Oh, I can see it. It looks like we're by the Pipples, a lot of houses, maybe even some schools or roads.
Roads? What do the people need roads for? They never go anywhere.
May I serve you, sir?
For Margarita.
For margaritas. Dear cousin, I would like you to meet the alcalde's lovely wife and her beautiful necklace.
Que bonita, eh?
You clumsy cow! Look what you've done!
Thousand pardons, senor.
Don't you touch me! Oh, ruining my dress!
Let me help you.
This is one place. You can't go with me.
But I can.
Oh my God! Not you again! Stay away from me! You've done enough damage!
I don't think it's stay, but because cheap is cheap.
You horrid, wretched woman!
What lovely skin you've got. You must stay out of the sun.
If you don't stop touching me, I shall have you destroyed of us! Stop it! Stop it! Stop!
Your cousin is not a woman. She's a goddess.
Oh, I feel faint.
But sit down now. Get sit down. I hate match balls. I hate match balls. If that one has balls, my master man.
You monster! You wretch!
Take some air now. Take deep breaths. Deep breaths. That's it. Deep breaths. That's it.
ship is preparing to leave port in 2 days, and Don Diego's foot is completely healed, so he passes the mantle back to his brother, as well as telling him to give Charlotte Taylor Wilson his love, or perhaps more appropriately, Don Diego's.
This isn't for me. It's for the people.
It looks better on you. After all, you're a person too. And a woman.
Oh, Diego.
Diego. You know it's me?
Yes.
How long you know?
From the start, I think. At first, I thought there were two of you.
Well, you see, at the beginning I had a little...
But then I realized there's just two sides of one man is changing.
You are the reason for the change. And now I know it is permitted for a man to be vulnerable.
Unfortunately, someone sees their clandestine meeting, and Esteban figures if Zorro cares for this woman, she'll make the perfect bait.
Do you wish for a blindfold?
No. The eyes of freedom will always see through the blindfolds of tyranny, and the bonds of oppression will always be broken by the muscles of liberty.
Padre, please pray that Zorro is delivered to me pronto, see?
Where's the answer, Excellencia?
Nothing. No. I know you would not kill an innocent man. Or me either, for that matter.
Listen, señores.
What a tremendously heroic gesture. Stupid, but heroic.
2 bits, 4 bits, 6 bits a peso. All for Zorro! Stand up and say so! Be able to do this by yourself. You're talking about I was doing fine. Fine, silly boy. Another second you had 5 points in you. It means you just lost the attention. Actually, I had this outfit and I thought to myself, where am I supposed to do at it? Where are they getting all these men? Actually, I'd rather like out myself.
Tired of being oppressed by the army and by their insane alcalde, the peasants rise up. So, when it's all over, Esteban is somewhat outnumbered.
Florinda, at least I know you will not desert me. See?
Well, I'm glad to see you're finally developing a sense of humor, Esteban. Excuse me.
So the people are protected, presumably by an alcalde who will actually look after their needs and possibly arrange the development of a proper democratic government. Bunny returns to his ship with some stories to tell, and Don Diego and Charlotte discuss their future plans.
What'd you like for a wedding present?
For myself, nothing. But I thought for the people you might donate your land.
Again, my land for the peoples.
If we give away my land, where do you think we're gonna live?
Boston.
Boston?
It's really the only civilized city. The best food, the best art, the best music.
The best music? You gotta be joking. I spent a week in Boston once and I don't think I heard a decent mariachi play in the city.
So that was Zorro the Gay Blade. How was it? Not too bad. Bunny is represented as a very positive gay character. He's very confident. He's very sure of himself. He doesn't put on airs. And his sense of justice is just as strong as Don Diego's. Perhaps even more so. Don Diego had been being Zorro for the glory, whereas Bunny appears to be doing it for the benefit of the people. And to show off his sense of fashion, too. Let's be fair about that. And while some of the gay jokes are a bit over the top, overall, he's a pretty positive representation. The two women are also an interesting contrast against each other. You're inclined to feel a certain amount of sympathy towards Florinda at the beginning because she's married to a brute, but she also shows herself to be vain and selfish and arrogant and really not deserving of her sympathy since she made her bed and now she has to lie in it. She's not going to leave Esteban because she has everything that he can provide for her. Position, money, the attention of the populace, and that means more to her than actually trying to make her own way in life. Sarah Taylor Wilson, on the other hand, is strong and confident. She has a certain amount of money and able to travel freely, but she's more concerned about the fate of the people, traveling around encouraging democracy and people being able to stand up for themselves. This attitude is probably what initially entrances Don Diego towards her, since previously he'd been interested primarily in beauty, and while she is beautiful, she also has a very fiery spirit. A downside, I feel, however, is Esteban the Alcalde. He's brash, he's annoying, he seems to shout almost all of his dialogue, and not in a way similar to Brian Blessed does, but more in a way that you just wish he'd shut up. And you can tell that George Hamilton is having a huge amount of fun playing both Don Diego de la Vega and Bunny Wigglesworth. So for a funny and respectful representation of a gay hero, swashbuckling action choreographed quite well, and a general sense of fun while still being faithful to the spirit of Zorro, I'm going to give this 4 Maple Leafs out of 5. The downside is the character of Esteban, who is just grating on the ears and the nerves. Florinda is kind of hard to really take, and they bring it down a little bit. But overall, I think it's a pretty fun movie. I'm Sam Canadian Critic, and I'll see you next time.
Do you know that little thing we do one night every year?
Yes. Oh, yes.
We still have 3 months to go.
They're twins. They have the same build. They have the same sense of justice. And I have a cat on my shoulder.